Joined by the head coach of the U.S. men's national team, GREGG BERHALTER. It's just us in the room tonight. No Zoom, and we're going to go straight to questions. So if you have one, please raise your hand. We'll get started with Stephen Goff.
Greg, so 2 games, only 2 points. What's your level of disappointment and also, I guess, concern heading into the Honduras trip now?
We're disappointed. I think disappointed with the performance, particularly tonight. I think the effort was good. The effort was outstanding, but the performance wasn't up to what we expect. And, I think looking at this and keeping it in perspective, we knew it was going to be a difficult road. We knew there were going to be tough games. And we're getting into it. And we're finding out that they are tough games. And that's something we have to deal with. And, I think our success is going to depend on how we're able to deal with that as a team. And, there's ups and downs and bumps in the road, and we just have to keep responding when we're called on.
Paul.
Greg, a couple questions. One, what was Weston's violation? And then 2, another game where maybe the chances weren't as plentiful as you'd like and the dangerous moments weren't there. What can you do to solve things in the final third to find goals?
Yeah, it was really compact 5-4-1, sometimes changing to a 4-1-3-2, and it was tough to break down, man. It really was. And, we needed much faster ball movement. If you see, I think, everyone can see from the outside, it just took way too long on the ball. Allows Canada to shift, not skipping passes, not playing behind them enough. So we have to work on that. And we have to figure out ways to break down a compact defense, because I'm sure there's going to be other teams that come to the United States and do the same thing. So that was, and regarding Weston, it was a team policy, and I'm not going to get into specifics on it. I'll just leave it at that.
Right.
Is Weston especially disappointing since it appears he did something similar in April that caused him to get dropped from Juventus for the game against Reyna?
I can't speak for Weston. You would have to ask him, Ron, but I'm sure he is. I mean, I know he wanted to be out there with the boys today.
Will he be back for the next game, or does this affect him?
That remains to be seen.
Doug.
No, I'm good.
Graham.
Weston on his Instagram said it was for violating COVID protocols. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it's a team policy. I'm not going to get into specifics on exactly.
Okay. And then just as a follow-up, or not related, what went into sort of your thought process on your subs and waiting as long as you did to make most of them?
So with substitutes, we're looking for who's not performing up to standard, like who's off the game. And we felt in our attacking players, Jordan was still being somewhat effective with his physicality, giving them problems. Brendan was, I thought one of our better players today with his tenacity and his counter-pressing. So it was, and then thinking about balancing who we can bring on. And so, listen, it's definitely, we need a goal. They scored in the 66th minute. We need a goal to end the game, and I can understand how it looks like we should have acted quicker, 100%. In this situation, we were looking at the performance of the guys and trying to figure out who we're going to take off the field.
Jeff.
Greg, what did you make of Christian's performance tonight? And what's Serginho's status? Obviously, he had to come off.
Serginho has an ankle sprain. We're going to have to find out if he'll be available on Wednesday, but that's his status. And Christian, I think, did a good job to get himself back, that he can compete for 90 minutes. I think that was the most important thing, is that he hasn't played soccer in a while. He didn't travel to El Salvador. He's doing individual training, and then I was just step into a match and give that type of effort, I think, says a lot about him and who he is.
Great.
Greg, going into the beginning of that second half, obviously you get the goal in the 55th. And what do you make of that first 10 minutes starting that second half, of Brennan getting the goal, and how the crowd reacted to that? And how did you feel about conceding, obviously, shortly thereafter?
I didn't like conceding at all. I think we built some momentum. The start of the second half I didn't love, to be honest. I thought our passing wasn't good enough, and I'm watching it, and it wasn't great. And then we did build some momentum, and which led to the goal. Great individual effort by Brendan to press the ball after we lost it. put them in some difficult positions. Really quick counterattack to the other side of the field, get the ball in front of goal for a tap-in. Really nice play, really good goal. And I think we had a chance on a corner kick after that from Jordan that was cleared off, almost off the line. So we started coming in the game. We started coming in, and I thought we were more likely to get to 2-0. But when you have a guy, when you have guys like Alphonso Davies who has just burners, you can't sleep for 1 minute, for 1 second, and he made the difference on that play. Really good play, good ball to him. And, you know, I have to take a look at the video of how we defended in the penalty box, but give him credit.
We'll do Kevin, then Sam.
Greg, with Stefan's out and Gio out and now potentially Dest out, would that affect Weston's availability for the next game? And are that many injuries a concern? Because you'd already planned to rotate. Is this maybe easier to absorb?
Listen, it's not ideal. It's less than ideal. There's no question about that. You know, to have guys go down and, you know, and some guys, I think I mentioned this before camp, you know, backup wingers like Timmy Weah or wingers like Timmy Weah and Paul Arriola, Jordan Morris, you know, they're not available either. So it hurts. It hurts when you're down like that, but we have to be resilient. I mean, we can do two things. We can feel bad for ourselves, or we can continue on with a positive attitude and try to get a positive result in Honduras, which we're going to do.
Sam.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks, Greg. You mentioned playing a little bit too slowly in possession, not switching the ball. Was there anything else you saw in the attack that kind of stood out as something that you want to see get better? And then how much urgency do you feel now with 2 points through 2 games, going down to Honduras on Wednesday to get a result or even a win?
Yeah, well, I think there's always urgency. After tying in El Salvador, we felt urgency. I mean, the way we've been framing it to the guys, Sam, is that every game is a final. 14 finals, and that's how we have to approach it. So the urgency is always going to be there until we're mathematically secure with qualifying. And the first part of your question, you know, there was really very little space between the lines, and we were trying to operate outside of the lines, and it just gave Canada the opportunity to just keep shifting and never really penetrating. So we tried to start working with some diagonal balls behind their back line. They were sliding out with their wing back to defend that. We tried some combinations inside with our fullback playing directly to the striker. We needed more attachment with our attacking mids there. So it was challenging. It was difficult, and we didn't do a good enough job.
In the back, Roberto.
Hi, Greg. Can you give us an update on Gio Reyna and how he got hurt, and if you're going to be calling in other players now that you have so many players that are down?
He got hurt in the game against El Salvador, and it's a hamstring injury, and he will be out for Honduras, for sure.
And are you planning on calling anybody else in now?
Yeah, we're looking at it now. We're looking at who we feel can make an impact in the game, for sure. Yep.
Daniel.
Greg, during the Gold Cup, we saw how you switch formations between one game to another. Is that a possibility, thinking of the next game and considering the lack of goal with the 4-3-3?
Is that a possibility? I don't know. I mean, I think it's always a possibility. We're going to look at Honduras and dig deeper into them. You know, we saw what they usually do is a 4-4-2. They have really good counterattacking, good speed to get behind the back line, so that's something we're going to be aware of. So we'll see. I would say, you know, we leave it open all the time, so I wouldn't commit to either one right now.
Last one in the front to your left.
Yeah. Greg, with the level of talent that's been assembled on this team and the results you've had so far this year, what do you feel like it's been missing the last couple of games, you know, to get the performance up to the level you do expect?
You know, it's a good lesson when you talk about World Cup qualifying and what these games are and the level of intensity in these games. You know, what you need is guys that are fit, guys that are strong, guys that are in form, and that's the most important thing. And, you know, it's a grueling week of 3 games with a lot of travel. A lot of the guys have come from Europe, and that's just part of it, and we're adapting to that. You know, we haven't lost yet. We're undefeated, which is a positive part of it. Obviously, we would have wanted to get the win tonight, but we got to move on. And for us, it's about getting 11 fit guys on the field that will want to compete and get a result in Honduras.
Thanks, Craig.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Who you bringing in?